Hey, guys and gals, how's it going? CraigTube here, back at you. Thanks for coming back. And sorry I posted that other video by accident. You caught me posting on the other channel. Oh no, jeez. Yes, my vinyl channel is doing pretty well, so I'm happy about that. And that's what we're going to talk about a little bit today, about what I've been doing and what's the deal with not as many videos. Well, I'll talk about that. But first, we have a home brew. We have something I brewed from some apple juice. This is an apple wine. I've already had some. Got 2 bottles out of it as well. And just, it's apple juice, a little bit of sugar, or I used corn syrup, and you know, some brewer's yeast. I think I used half a packet of Cooper's yeast. And it's about 12% alcohol. Just apple juice, that's all it is. So let's get a glass here and give it a pour. Look at that. Look at that. Look. Oh my. No clearing agents, no nothing. I just let it sit. Let's put the lid back on that. So I just let it sit for, probably about a month. I always worry about that. Okay, there you go. About a month, I guess. I actually put it in a little, like a demijohn with an airlock, and I put it up. I forgot about it for about a month. And I actually was walking around, and I looked up and I went, oh, yeah, that thing. And so I stood up on a stool and I looked at it and was like, look at how clear that is. Didn't do a thing to it. And there you have it. Fermented commercial apple juice, right from the store shelf. 12% alcohol. Let's give it a whirl. Cheers. Can't believe you can do this. I first learned this, I've been brewing since I was very young. And I used to just, brew beer, and it was Murden 2002. And I don't know where he is anymore, if he's still on YouTube or whatever, but he used to be around here. And he's the one who, I watched his video of him making hard apple cider, which was basically an apple cider, which he fermented. And that was my very first fermented beverage other than beer. And from then on, I learned how to make wine and how to make wine from kits. And now, you can take a $2 thing of apple juice and make a apple wine out of it. Hard apple cider, hooch, wine, apple wine, inmate brew, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. We've called it lots of things over the years, but it's pretty good. Apple juice is weird when you ferment it. It maintains kind of let's just think of an apple without sugar. It's a little strange, but it's pretty good. And for $2, I got about 2 liters out of it. So that's not bad. So anyway, we'll just keep that. Yeah, I probably owe you guys an explanation, what's been going on with me. It's been a while since I've done a brewing video, cooking video even. It's been a little while. I've been concentrating on my other channel, which is my vinyl TV channel, a little bit more, because vinyl's hot right now. And, I've been on YouTube for 12 years, done the brewing thing for 10 of those 12 years, pretty much. Done some cooking stuff, but mostly brewing. Sometimes it feels like I've just talked about everything I can talk about. See, I'm not a master home brewer. I just brew out of necessity because I live in a country where alcohol is expensive. I've said this many times. So if I want to drink, beer or, whatever, I have to make it. Because, I'm like, I don't want to spend that. It's crazy when you buy 24 cans of beer. You pay $40 for it or more, 50 sometimes or 60. Just can't stand wasting money like that. And that was the main reason why I started home brewing in the first place. I've done all the different methods of home brewing with, all grain and extracts and partial extracts, mini mash, all that stuff. And, those are all great methods. But I don't need to spend that long making beer for my beer needs, if you will. I don't know. I've been through this so many times that, and by the way, I'm testing out new lights. I just bought new lighting in case you wondered why it looks so bright. This is actually sort of a test as well as an update video. I spent 12 years shooting videos with low lighting like this. You know, still has the price tag on it from Value Village. You know, that. And I might take something like this too and clip it onto a mic stand and have that pointing at me as well. That's what I've been using for lighting over the past, believe it or not. Always. So, and plus I've got fluorescent lights downstairs, big, you know, the tube ones hanging. So I felt it was time to invest in some proper lights. Anyway, back to the brewing. For me, I'm not approaching it from a hobby standpoint as much as other people are. And when I first came on YouTube and started making brewing videos, it was all about easy home brewing. That's what if you remember, that's what it was. You know, how to make beer the easy way. And you still can do that. I mean, it's not bad beer at all when you do it, you know, kit and kilo or whatever. It's still better than just going to the beer store and buying the you know, whatever commercial beer you can get your hands on. And then you add things to it and you make it taste better and it's nice and everything like that. And I did all those things. And then I was, you know, had the sort of the motivation to do partial extract and mini mash and then all grain and all those methods. And they're all understandingly beautiful, you know, especially all grain, where you get some really, really good beer out of that. If you've never tasted an all grain beer, you know, a good all grain beer, somebody who knows what they're doing, who can really hone in and tune in on the ingredients and the proportions and the yeast and all that, and the temperature. You get an all grain beer, it tastes out of this world. But, you know, with that said, you can also do an extract beer that tastes pretty damn good too, if not out of this world, if you do things right. So in my life, I've chosen the easier method of brewing for the most part. And it got to the point where the only time I ever brewed anything elaborate was when I was making a video, right? And lately it just hasn't been, I haven't had the time to brew elaborately, if you will. And that's why I haven't been making a lot of brewing videos. So that's basically what it's been. As far as the cooking stuff, well, that's a whole different story, and you know, it's not a big deal. I'll get back into that real soon. I'm not, like people might, I've seen comments and whatnot, forums and everything going, I think Craig's, you know, he's getting lazy, he's getting out of it. No, absolutely not. I just bought, you know, new lights and everything. I'm gonna continue making videos. I had to spend some time on my Vinyl TV channel. I had to concentrate on that for a while. I wanted to get it off the ground and build some momentum and get some viewers and some subscribers on that channel. And that takes time. Anytime you make a video, I mean, it took me an hour and a half to set this up, just to do this, right? Just to set it up. Never mind film it and then edit it and post it. And then, you know, it's very time consuming. If you're a YouTuber, you know how long this takes to make it just right. It's got to be the right amount of space, you know, up here, and it's got to be lit right. The audio's got to be good. I mean, everything's got to be right. And so it's very time consuming, and I just don't have all the time in the world, that's all. So I'm not making excuses. I'm just explaining to you that I'm sorry that there's not been a lot of brewing videos recently. But I've been brewing beer the easy way for the last few months, just because that gets me beer in the pipeline, and it allows me to work on things that I have priorities. And my, you know, the other channel that some of you probably don't care about because you don't listen to records is important to me as well as this channel. And I'm building a base on that channel, which is very important to me. And I love talking about audio and vinyl records and turntables and speakers and everything. I love talking about that. That's been more of a hobby to me over my life than brewing. Audio and recording and music and everything, that's been my life. Brewing came along just because I didn't want to pay for beer, you see. But when I saw the emptiness on YouTube 10 years ago for home brewing, that's when I tried to fill the gap. And I think I did quite well back then. But now there's so many home brewing videos on YouTube now that, you know, I'm just a face in the crowd now, as far as brewing goes on YouTube. So it's not as urgent for me to post brewing videos because there's so much material out there now that everyone can learn from. And I know what you're going to say, but I'm also very interested in audio and in turntables and vinyl. And I've really been had a very strong want to post videos about that as well as brewing. So it's like, I've tried to spread myself a little thin, I guess. And I haven't been paying attention to this channel, and I'm sorry. So, but cheers to you for still being here. Thank you. There's nothing wrong with that. If you like apple juice, you may as well ferment it and get a little buzz off of it. Get a buzz off this stuff. Absolutely. And it's absolutely safe to do too. It's, people talk about methanol. You don't worry about that. Just brew it, drink it. It's fine. You're not going to get poisoned. If you distill it, well, then you're going to have to talk to somebody else about that because I'm not into distilling at this point. I have a water distiller that I use to make distilled water for my Star San and for my cleaning my records. But other than that, I haven't used it for anything else, and that's the honest truth. No, I have not distilled any alcohol in it yet. Anyway, so I hope you guys are doing well. I hope your brewing endeavors are well. If you're home brew, if you don't, then well, you should. Making beer, wine. I have a batch of red wine going downstairs right now. Call it California red wine. It's, again, like, I've talked about all these things over the years. Like, people go and they pick grapes and they squish them and they make wine and they're like, oh yeah, that's the way to do it. But I don't have a vineyard in my backyard. I don't know where to get grapes. But I like wine. And instead of paying $10, $20, $30, $40, $50 a bottle, I could make wine for $2 a bottle. And you know what? It's damn good wine. I don't care what anybody says. You buy these wine kits with the grape juice concentrate, you can make some freaking good wine out of that. So, and by the way, that's one thing I'm going to be doing in the very near future is making another wine making video. Because it's been a while since I've done that, and I feel like I need to do that. That's to make a whole new series on winemaking. So, but from kits, not from the grapes. I can't do that. Now, I'm not a connoisseur when it comes to wine, but most people aren't. So, this isn't something I would bring to a dinner and serve with people because it's apple juice is not the most tasteful thing to brew because it when it loses its sugar, it kind of has a weird woody taste. But it's good if you get used to it. It's not bad at all, and it looks nice too. So, cheers. I hope you guys head over to my Vinyl TV channel and subscribe to that. I love music, and I've been around since the vinyl days when records were all we had, and tapes, and then CDs came along, and MP3s, and everything, and I've been through all that. And really, my favorite way to listen to music is vinyl. We call it vinyl now because when you call it a record, you don't know what that means anymore. It's like a record could be a CD, a tape, Putting a record on the turntable and cleaning it and putting the needle down on it and watching it play and listening to how damn good it can sound. Maybe it didn't sound so good back in the day, back in the 70s. But now, oh my goodness, they've created new ways of making the needles, the styluses, and the cartridges, and there's new turntables out there, and there's just, people have this yearning for vinyl. I don't know what it is, but I know that when I listen to an MP3, it's like, yeah, there's music there. It's good music. Yep, I like it. But when I listen to a record, a vinyl record, not only is there music, but there's also a mechanical process going on. It's kind of like those of you who like to brew all grain beer. Think about it that way. You like to brew from grains and do it all yourself, so the process and everything that went into it, and you when you taste it, it's like, yes, You know, I've put my own heart and soul into this beer, and now I'm enjoying it more than I would have if I just brewed from a can, right? Well, with music, it's the same thing. You spend all this time and a little money setting up this turntable, making it work, aligning the cartridge, making it the right weight and leveling it and tweaking things. And then when you finally put down that stylus and you get it right, it's an experience that if you haven't had, I urge you to have it. Really. It's so amazing. It sounds different than a CD or an MP3 or whatever you listen to. It's more human. It speaks to you better. It's amazing. You have to do it. My son, David, I remember the first time he was, at the time, I think he was 18 or 17 or something like that. And he was bored. He said, "Dad, what are you doing?" "Oh, nothing, Well, why don't we hang out for a while?" So I gave him a beer. I said, "Hey, let's listen to some records." He put on Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon for him on vinyl. And he was blown away. He says, "Dad," after side A, I took the needle off. He says, "I get it. I understand now. I understand why you listen to these things." He says, "I'm hearing frequencies I've never heard before, listening to my stupid iPhone or my MP3s on my computer." He says, "I can't believe what I'm hearing." And I just went, "You want to do side B?" "Yeah." So we did side B, and he was hooked. Now he's got a turntable and he's doing it. So you just have to try it. If you like music, then it's something that you should think about. That's all I'm saying. If you like all grain beer, then you should like turntables. I think that's what I'm trying to say. So there's my sales pitch. So anyways, my channel is called Vinyl TV, and I do plan on making more videos here on CraigTube. I'm not going anywhere, okay? I promise. So cheers, and thanks for hanging in there and being patient with me. That's the explanation, and that's the truth. So thank you. Cheers. Happy brewing. I am double-fisted, I'll admit. A little bit of beer left here too. Drank this while I was setting up. So cheers to you guys. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you real soon. Take care. 17.